He's not going for it. This guy's going man mode.
Look at
my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, can he make it? He did!
Oh, he's got it.
Poor cheese. Oh, Monkey's bird.
Monkey's bird.
That spot. Oh my god.
Richard! Oh my god!
Oh, he died!
Dead! Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well. What? This is literally synced in the final escape.
Hey there, everybody. It is Ori time right now. We're coming to you from the Phil division with the lower bracket finals. It's going to be a rematch between Willson and Oshi. Bringing this match to you today, I'm Sigma. I'm joined by Sully.
Hey, how's it going, Sigma?
Pretty good. This, day of Ori has some pretty insane matches lined up, and this is a pretty good one to start it out with. These guys have a bit of a story in the tournament. As you can see on the bracket here, they met in the first round, and Oshi actually pulled off the upset against Willson. They've played through a few matches, and here they are once again meeting in the lower finals. And the winner will be able to go on to Stafu in the division finals. So this one should be pretty interesting here.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody was really surprised at that upset from Oshi in the earlier rounds. I mean, anything can happen. We've already seen quite a few upsets happen in the bracket stages. So not to say that Oshi's completely out of it or anything like that, but Willson is obviously a very experienced runner. So we'll see how he adapts to that loss. And I know he's had some good runs earlier today, so he's feeling very, very confident about this.
Yeah, Willson does have issues with nerves in tournament races, though, and that could be attributed to the reason that he lost this match in the first place, because he had a really rough race with a lot of bad deaths, and, the way Willson plays tends to just be, dangerous, on edge, tries to go for 28s, because, that's what he mostly does, is goes for PB attempts, and it really bit him in that last race against Oshi, but we'll see how he opts to play here today.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if he takes it as more of a winning the match itself instead of going for maybe all the crazy strats that you would normally go for. That was actually a question I had for you. And despite his last loss, I know he is feeling confident, but do you think he's going to take any safety, maybe something like omitting crazy juggle or anything like that? Or do you think he's pretty much going to go for his standardized strategies for this one?
He did say that he was going to play a little bit safer. I don't think he's going to go all the way into taking crazy juggle out, because I really don't know if he's ever done Terror Break, but he might make some saves in Misty or something like that. I doubt we'll see 4 health at the start, because once again, it's 4 health early almost makes it harder when you only ever go 3. So, but safety saves, that might happen. We'll have to see.
And you can see there is a disparity, obviously, between the PBs, between Oshi and Willson. Oshi's looking at a 33:16. They're both going to be playing on keyboard and mouse, and the average race times and best race times, another pretty big margin. But still, despite all that, Oshi has taken a win away from Willson already. So,
yeah, that's true. And Ori is an easy game to lose a whole bunch of time in. Like, if Willson just falls back into his normal routine, plays really aggressive, and then takes some rough deaths later in the game, then that could give Oshi the window he needs to take this race. He's done it before, and we're all waiting to see. Can he do it again, or is Willson going to take this one down?
all right, looks like we're getting set up here. Should be off to the start in just a couple of seconds. And here we go.
Yeah, so both runners getting through the prologue skip. Oh my good god.
Or were they?
Okay, so this race is going to restart because we got the prologue bug, and we'll be back with you in a little bit. So the runners will just get set again. I think that might be the 3rd time that's happened to Willson in the tournament, and I mean, he hasn't even played that many races in here. That's pretty ridiculous.
So just resetting everything now. That's funny. I haven't experienced that personally. What causes that? Is that just a random thing, or?
From what I'm told, it's just skipping the prologue on the first possible frame, and I'm not sure if that's all there is to it, or if there's something else going on. Because I mean, the task never had problems with it. I've never gotten it myself, and I've even tried skipping the prologue with mouse wheel spam before. But there's a few people who get it really often. I think Willson is definitely victim number one. Spark gets it a lot. Vool's gotten it a few times. So
that's great. So first frame perfect trick of the game actually causes a soft lock. Love it.
Yep. So that just tells you, like, Wilson's generally pretty insanely good on his prologue skips. Like, I think perhaps among the people who have really those low times, those like 28s or low 29, they're all super good at the early game. But I think Willson in particular is kind of known for his absolutely insane wall jump times. Like, I think his best wall jump is like a 307 or something like that, or like a very high 306. It's like almost to task level. And that's how you do it, is you just don't lose any frames on your loading.
That's just like unfathomable to me. Those times are absolutely insane. All right, so it looks like Willson was just clearing through the slow load. When you first launch the game, you get a little bit of a slow load the first time you enter it, so he's clearing that out, and we should be underway here now shortly.
Yep, we'll be getting underway again soon, and we'll see if Willson can go 2 for 2. That would always be impressive. These are the real stats that we need to track next tournament. It'll be just like a bunch of no missed prologue skips for a bunch of people, and then like Willson will just be like 60% soft lock rate or something like that.
That's beautiful.
Oh man. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start again soon. Maybe both runners will go through the prologue skip. Let's see. Watching on Wilson's screen. Is it gonna fade in?
Nice.
Oh, we did it.
All right. Clap is in the chat. Very good.
So one hurdle cleared. The game has started, and now hopefully nothing can go wrong for the next little bit. Both runners will just be holding left, hopping now and again, and moving on down to grab sign. Though we did see a race yesterday where Muffin managed to die to the Rhino, which was a tournament first, but I don't imagine either of these guys are going to do that. I don't imagine anybody would do that more than 1 in 1,000 times.
Oh, that's great. So
right,
for the most part, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Sigma.
Oh man, we both jumped in there.
Oops.
Well, so we're going to see the Frankie fight here momentarily, and here I would already expect Willson to perhaps take a little bit of a lead, but Oshi can definitely keep pace. The ideal Frankie fight is you never let go of right, and you just shoot the Frankies as fast as possible. What really matters for that is the last one. So great first 2 Frankies from both of them, and Wilson's last Frankie just slightly faster, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, you can already see the difference between, being in that 30 range and being in that like 28 range. It's ridiculous. Like, these just tiny little things that you could say, well, it could go either way, but it's going to go Wilson's way in the early game because he's just incredibly consistent and good at this part.
And Oshi did take damage with that jump. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. So he's on 2 HP already. And he got caught up on the jump pad as well. So extends Wilson's lead just by a couple more seconds here, which, like you said, isn't too surprising for how good Willson is at this early game.
Yeah, Willson did mess up his health manipulation, though. He meant to take damage from that slime, but actually got missed. So he's going to be at 2 health for this Ghost Door, which will lose him a second because he's going to have to take 2 ticks of damage from the water here. So I think Oshi's health is correct. Let's take a look. Yeah, it is. So he gets a faster death there and catches up a little bit of time. Now we see Willson just carrying on to the left. Oshi will go up now and grab the 4th health cell. This is just a measure of safety that Willson does not go for. It takes about 3 seconds in the long run to get this cell because you do need 5 health eventually. And the investment now means you can skip a health cell later.
It does provide a lot more safety for the early game, especially through this section, because you damage down ideally to 1 HP for the Ghost Door, so you only have 1 HP going through this section until, as in Oshi's case, you pick up that 4th health cell immediately, and that refills all of your health.
Willson got a bad set of bounces on the experience from the upper wall. He got all 6 of it, and I think he could have got away with getting only 5, but that caused him to level up early, and he's actually going to have to shoot his way out of wall jump now, so already some issues for Willson, but you see, nonetheless, he's coming in with an insane wall jump time of a 3:10, so that's pretty darn good, and he will be now progressing out. Does definitely lose a bit of time, because at 3 health, I think he's just going to have to wait and shoot his way out. At 4, sometimes you can just damage boost your way through, because you have a ton of extra health, but the slime will kill him if he goes for a damage boost here.
It looks like Oshiimine picked his up around 3:24, which is definitely a respectable time as well. But already, I mean, that delta that's pretty significant for the first split of the game.
Yeah, it should be noted that 8 seconds of it is due to the health cell, but that's still 6 seconds that Willson has just conjured out of thin air with his, amazing play so far. So he's got to be feeling good, although he's probably already like, oh, this early game, well, it's just a mess because he messed up the level up, but it's minor in the scheme of things.
Yeah, it's amazing how relative it really is to each runner, how, small mistakes might affect like something like if Oshiimine made similar mistakes, he'd probably not feel too terrible, but when Willson's going for world records attempts and stuff like that, it can feel catastrophic.
Yeah, that's for sure, and that's why people get stuck in glades a lot when you do PB attempt runs of this game, is you lose those like 5 seconds or whatever that Willson has lost so far, and you just are like, well, dang it, let's try again, and then you play the start of the game again. But Willson now into Blackroot, Oshi following suit right now. So yeah, he closed the gap a little bit because of Willson having to stop to kill that wall, but still got a bit of a lead for Willson in Blackroot. And one thing interesting to note is Willson goes for the genocide route where you kill the slimes with Blackroot in PB attempts, but he does not like it for races. He doesn't find it as consistent, so he's going to be doing the experience orb grab, which Oshi will as well. This route's more common in general and a bit safer.
That's very interesting. Actually, yeah, I've been doing the genocide in races when typically I don't do that in PBs, so it's kind of strange.
Nice.
But that jump right there looks like Oshi's having a little bit of trouble with it, and I think that's a lot of the reason why some people decide to go genocide. Besides just the time save, it's because that jump specifically can be really tricky.
Yeah, the good news for Oshi is that because this area is on cycles, if everything goes well from here on out, I think he can still make the same platform cycle. He will lose a little bit of time because he won't be in a good position to do a save and reload to reset the platform, but you're going to see here, he still meets this platform as it's coming up. So despite the fact that he flubbed that jump a bit, he didn't lose any time, assuming he wasn't going for the reload in the first place. So it's always kind of relaxing thing to think about in Blackroot.
Yeah, and getting up to this section is kind of just a sigh of relief. You're pretty much through the hardest part of Blackroot Burrows and kind of onto this auto-scrolly platform area, which isn't too terrible, minus the one-shot laser.
Now, yeah, speaking of the one-shot laser, Wilson's going to go past it now. You'll see pretty much everybody, I think, at this point in the tournament do this thing where they drop the orb on the platform, and it's really not that scary until you think about how long it's been since your last save. If anybody actually died to that laser, like, they lose over a minute. And, everybody goes for it. Like, there's plenty of time, but man, you flub that jump, and geez, that's scary.
Alright. Doesn't look like Wilson's going to opt to go for the newer strat for the dash stack, which saves just a second or two. But this is a lot safer regardless, so that's understandable. Seems like Oshi's going to be doing the same thing, traditional cutscene skip here.
Yeah, most runners are opting for this in the tournament. There's a couple that go for the blind movement, and we've seen one actually fall during the blind movement. Give us an example of why you don't go for it, but neither runner doing that here. Wilson's going to be going for the Frankie Walk here. Now, here's another little optimization. He's been practicing this recently because he had a little bit of a hard time with it. He's trying to get what we call the optimal Frankie walk, and it looks like he's set up for this right now. You have to make sure that the Frankie jumps as far right as possible as he's getting through this early section, and then not knock him back with science shots. There's a very small knockback, so you'll notice that Willson has lowered the Frankie to, critical health early on, and then didn't shoot him during the entire walk. What's going to cause that to do is the Frankie high jumps as soon as it's in that room like that, and then he's able to get through with one less jump. So that's something that Willson actually originally came up with, and he's onto his death run now. He takes a little bit of a slowdown there because he got a safety energy. He wanted to place a save, and that's a good decision because he is at 1 health. So if he messes up this death glide, which he kind of is, he could just die, but he gets it there on the 3rd try, which is way slower than just shooting your way up. And oh man, Willson having some more issues.
I do like the dedication though. I think he was upset at that trick, and he said, "You know what? We're not going to get bodied by this. Instead, we'll get bodied by this slime." Luckily, had the save rate there though. He knew he was on low health.
That's an example of why you place that save before that slime if you have 1 health, because it's really easy to get ramped into it just like that. So on the left here, Willson going for Grotto Cycle right now. I think he's going to get it, and he does. Plenty of time. That was like really good.
Yeah, it feels so good. Every time you get that trick, it's nice. And Oshi's going to go for his attempt here. Oh, wow. That was close to getting 1 framed, actually.
Yeah, a little bit scary, but Oshi is now just waiting through the crushers. Just an 8-second time loss there, but not a huge deal. What Oshi's going to be looking for is basically don't die, and then hope Willson does. Oh god, but he does die.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, fortunately he had the save right before the crushers there. It's actually maybe fortunate that he missed the cycle, because that death might have been more costly if he hadn't saved since Death Gauntlet. But losing a little bit more time here. Runners have a little bit of a high 5 outside the double jump area. Oshi heading in, Willson heading out, and now let's see how Wilson's attempt at Grotto Skip goes. You see his success rate, maybe not the best in the tournament, but he nails it first try here, so it's good stuff from him, and he'll just be hopping his way on up out of Grotto now.
Oshi's now on his blind move and picking up double jump. Makes it good ways up that right side wall, so not bad movement at all. And he'll be approaching his Grotto Skip as well, while Willson's just making absolute short work of these Grotto walls on the left side. That is just such a tough split, and Willson makes it look incredibly easy.
Yeah, doing all of your jumps optimally up these walls is definitely quite a pain. So here comes Oshi's Grotto Skip. He doesn't get it first try, going for another setup off the side of the platform. Having a little bit of trouble getting it, but man, he's just a little bit too high every time on that jump. And still going, okay, he's gonna set up on the top of the platform now, and this maybe is not how he normally does it, but okay, he gets up there now. I think he was probably going for all of those side jumps just because that's how he always practices it, and it's just not cooperating with him today. But he's through it, and he'll be going through Grotto as Willson making his way to the Ginso approach now.
Yeah, he might have been staying on the side of the log also to skip the pickup animation from that experience orb, because he didn't pick up the 15 in Glades. So maybe it was twofold.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Because he didn't actually end up having to take it. If you stay in the air or on walls, not on... Oh gosh, okay, never mind that. Willson just got hit by the spinners, so he's at 1 health right now. That means he's going to have to not get hit again. He hasn't saved for quite a while, and he's got to shoot this slime instead of damage boosting it. Normally you just like walk through this slime, but at 1 health, that's not an option. Willson does it. He's on towards Ginso now, and that little scary moment is avoided.
Nice little cutscene skip there every time we enter Ginso. And Oshi had a little bit of trouble getting up these same grotto walls, but he's on his way, picked up the teleporter, and should be making his way up to this ability cell.
I just want to note that Willson is on a pretty crazy pace, not like 28 pace, but he had a 11:59 or 12 flat enter Ginso, which is just really, really good. And here comes some telehops from him. He's just going to double jump back and forth between these portals, spamming through, and he gets up there nice and fast. So that's good for him too. That saves just a little bit of time over going through the room normally. And Willson makes it look easy and look cool.
That trick is so awesome. It's so cool to see certain people do it. Or, I mean, it's cool to see everybody do it, but I love that certain people do that every single time. That's just such a cool strategy.
Oh, looks like Willson went for the what we call the Mr. Asmus cycle, where you take an intentional death to set up the flower shot better in this next room, but it actually, the timing was off somehow, and he missed the shot that he was hoping for, so it actually lost him time, but not very much. And he'll be on to his mini-boss now. Let's see how this goes. Willson has been able to 4-cycle this boss in the past, and you need 10 shots per volley. Gets 10 on the... okay, you missed one on the second. It's over. It's a 5-cycle.
Oshi's just entering Ginso now. Seems to be a little over a minute of a difference between our two runners. Yet again, not really surprising.
Yeah, I think this is kind of something that we saw a similar state in their last race. But Oshi was able to catch up a lot of time due to some of Wilson's late game deaths, so Oshi's will be looking for a repeat of that, perhaps. But, you know, Willson, as you said in the start of the race, he's put on some like really good performances, a bunch of 32s, a bunch of sub-30s earlier today. So, and he's playing definitely up to par for that right now, so I think he's probably feeling pretty good right now.
And one thing to note is Oshi is watching the restream, so he knows exactly how far behind he is, and he actually just has to depend on Willson to make mistakes in order to catch up, because of how the level of skill that Willson has. I mean, you can't just make it up on Oshi's side just by playing well with this big of a deficit. And Wilson's not watching the restream at all. He said he wanted to just focus on his game. He thought that may have been a contributing factor in the original loss, so he's just focused. He probably knows that he's ahead based on the pace at Enter Ginso, and he's just going to keep playing the way he is right. Oh, no.
That's a really rough death from Willson there. He was trying to set up for the upper platform T-dupe save, which saves about a second or two, but he actually didn't quite get the height and then tried to jump over anyways and ended up just hitting the spikes. So he has to go back to bash there. Still with a big lead, but to redo this section. I imagine he's going to go for it again. He's probably pretty comfortable with this. Yeah, he's setting up for the same thing. This time his height is much better, and even to make sure he's going to double bash the shot, just so he doesn't have to worry about, you know, taking a hit on the spikes. So Willson going through his key dupe now. Oshi's coming up to bash here as well. Willson, oh man, the invincibility frames and respawn, letting him climb that spike wall, that's always really cool. And he will be going through the second part of the key dupe section. Well, he's already duped, now he's just going through the door normally. And onto the mini boss as Oshi grabs bash.
And although that seemed like a pretty big mistake, it's not too big relative to the time difference right now. Oshi's going to have to look for a lot more of that from Willson if he wants to catch up. But the important thing there is that Willson didn't compound it. You know, making mistakes like that can be really frustrating, kind of put you on tilt and cause you to maybe lose focus a little bit and just keep losing time because you're making mistakes because of the first mistake that you made. So it's good that he had the presence of mind to just keep going with his strategies that he practiced and get through the second try with no problem.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was an incredibly good save on the same thing by Oshi. He was too low, but he actually managed a wall jump off of like the little tiny knob above the spikes on the right side there. That was so cool.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could do that. That's awesome. Great save.
Alright, here comes Willson's swamp entry attempt. Now he took damage immediately, so he is at 1 health right now. He's got to be a little careful, but he's got the frog in position. He's going to get a shot, and then he's going to do some double bashes to get the shot to break this roof. And he's through there, so that's good for him. Even, yeah, he's just got to get past the Rhino, and then he'll be on towards Stomp shortly. Oshi's still, you know, doing pretty well for himself. Definitely a respectable pace. Like, Willson's going to come in with a low 17 Stomp here, which is definitely potential 29 pace, and here's some more double bashes. That's actually faster. If you drop one, you lose about 1,000,000 years, but if you do them correctly, it saves you about half a second or something. So, hey, why not?
Seems worth it. And Oshi now teleporting. He's going to make his way to his swamp entry as well. I'm assuming he'll probably go for the double bash method as well, being on KBM. That seems to be a pretty big trend for KBM players. It is definitely more difficult. I personally, I find it a lot more punishing when you miss that as opposed to just doing it with a more standard setup without double bashes. And he's going to go ahead and skip this cutscene, do some blind movement as well.
Yep, so oh, he takes some damage in the spikes, but manages to get out of it quickly. I saw just a red flash on his screen, and 1 damage is not a big deal. Oh, wow, okay, that was a little scary, but the frog is alive, and everything's fine. Wilson's just bashing through, maybe there's a cutscene there, I don't know. And Oshi, on the right here, going for his swamp entry, as you said, he's going for double bashes, he gets the first one, so now the shot's good, and okay, that's a really good lob, I want to point out from Oshi. That shot actually phased through the roof, but because it was at an angle, it was able to just fall back down and break the roof before it, you know, disappeared from existence.
This is quite the game, to say the least.
Yeah. Alright, so it looks like we're setting up for nearly synced skill tree animations. Willson, 1 tree ahead at Charge Flame. Oshi picking up Stomp now. Both runners, well, Wilson's pretty far ahead of his average pace there. Oshi pretty close to his average pace for Stomp, so, you know, playing pretty well, both guys, you know, nothing too horrible has happened to them. And we'll just now get to be treated to Valley entry and the plethora of tricks that are waiting for us here on Wilson's side.
Yeah, this is such a fun segment. I mean, there's so many little things that you can do with the movement up towards fast stompless. I really enjoy this section.
Yeah, and Willson does a pretty cool. Oh my! Okay, I thought it was Oshi was a little low there, but it worked out once again with a wall jump off of a nearly non-existent wall. There's a nice little frog trick from Willson to skip going over the left wall, and he will be moving up towards fast stompless. And this trick can be okay. Well, he'll be moving up towards fast stompless in about a minute again, because that death is huge, and he's gonna have to replay this section.
And still no cutscene. Pretty sure it doesn't exist. Oshi expertly just moves right through that. He's actually going to go ahead and pick up this 5th health cell over here by the spider, which is really smart. It gives you a little bit of a buffer for doing the next couple sections where the spikes will give you 4 damage, so he can survive 1 through Sorrow Bash, and if he elects, he can take a damage boost. There are a lot of different things that you can do with that extra health. It doesn't lose all that much time because you need 5 regardless.
Yeah, and it's kind of similar to the Glade's health, and I want to raise an interesting point about this one. You lose about 3 or 4 seconds to be taking that one instead of one of the faster cells later on, but it gives you the ability to take a spike hit in Sorrow, as you were saying. Okay, I'll get back to that thought, but Wilson's going for fast stompless. That shot looks good, although, you know, who can tell, right? But Willson hasn't missed in the tournament. I don't expect him to miss here, and he is indeed good. But okay, back to the health. So if you don't take a save up at the top of Sorrow, it actually saves you quite a lot of time while you're moving over towards Charge Jump to be able to do the Ghost Door immediately, and I think probably saves as much time as you lose getting that health cell. And you don't really need to save there if you can take a spike hit, right? So that could be the safety measure that Oshi's going for.
That's a good point. And also to note, if you enter Misty with full health and you take a spike hit, it does 3 damage. And you can drop a safety save and heal yourself up again to 4, so you can take another hit. So it's also really good for Misty as well if you do happen to take damage there. Gives you a nice little buffer.
Yeah, okay. Willson coming into Sorrow Bash here. He missed the double bash, fell down a little bit. He's able to climb back up. This bird still has enough health to get through here, and he is indeed up there. So now we'll be going for some Sorrow Pass action from Willson, and this is always going to be fun because I do believe it's time for Crazy Juggle. Here we go. He's got to charge dash and stomp before he hits this frog repeatedly to get up to the top of Sorrow. Any late stomps is going to damage the frog and won't let him get up there, so he's got to spam these inputs out, taking a little safe with platforms, and it's going pretty well, and the frog is up, so he can now use this to break the roof and then do a rocket jump past these lasers all the way up to the Sunstone, and he will be grabbing that momentarily. Really nice Sorrow there from Willson.
Nothing about that trick is crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Oshi likes his shot, picks up the cell. Oh, unfortunately, wasn't able to actually land it. So we'll see if he... Oh, See you later, Spider.
Yeah, okay, so this spider actually responds instantly, but you have to get out of its spawn area for it to work. Oshi's gonna bait a shot out from the spider instead and do a quick series of double bashes, so that was a pretty neat way to get up there. And now he'll just have to watch this cutscene. Not a bad decision. It is a little bit faster to just do Stompless again, but having missed it, good god, okay. That was a little... It was close to the spikes from Willson, but he knows what's up. Alright, so she's about to grab a feather. Willson will be heading back down, so you get another high five on the Suro entrance / exit. Willson will be looking to make a show going through Misty here. Note that at 3 health, the spikes in Misty Woods will one-shot him. Goes through the weave, but doesn't quite get it. But, you know, points for trying. And we'll have to see. Willson did say he was going to check the restream when he was at Feather, because that's a really long cutscene, and just see how far ahead he was. So he knows that he has a lead going through this section. He didn't have any problems with Suro. And he has not placed the save yet in Misty. He does have 1 spare energy. Looks like he didn't burn one of the uncancelled charge dashes he might normally, and he indeed uses that to place a save in this section. Smart decision. This is exactly what got him last time, is deaths here that went back a really, really long way. So with that possibility eliminated, he's now looking to move to climb with confidence, and everything is looking really nice from Willson here right now.
Yeah, and just in a race, it almost makes no sense to not take that save. The uncancelled charge dash doesn't save you hardly any time at all, where dying there is completely catastrophic. You go all the way back up to Sunstone, and it's just not worth it at all, in my opinion, especially when, you know, this is not a best of 3. Whoever loses is out of the tournament.
Yeah, I think the uncancelled charge dash saves about a third of a second, maybe. So that just exemplifies how crazy it is not to play some saves in races sometimes. Here goes Willson. Oh, he's also not doing, you know, I think he, okay, I actually don't know what's happening, because now his energy's down to 2. So either he missed a cancel, or I just don't know what's going on. But I thought he was saving an energy to save, but he didn't. He might still save anyways. He can skip out on 1 rocket jump, which once again saves about half of a second going into the boss and save here, and he does. So nice decisions from Willson. It's like basically saying, I'll donate a second in Misty so that I don't lose like a minute.
I mean, really at this point, he just needs to secure the win. I mean, he's so far ahead. There's no reason to take any big risks. It just doesn't make sense. So, wow, evaporated. See you later, boss.
Oh, I like this too. I can't remember who did it first, but when you kill that boss, if you didn't stop for the safety energy beforehand, which Willson didn't need to because he managed his energy well and even had a save, you know, on his way over, you can actually go kill, like, save and then kill the energy crystal and still be back to full energy. So if you happened to take a death leaving this Misty area, like, it would be way less costly, and you have nothing to do anyways because the door is just opening. So hey, why not?
Yeah, just great decision making from Willson. And
oh man,
goodbye,
there's the Wilhelm frog. I think we didn't have audio on Oshi's side, so I'll do my best Wilhelm impression for you.
Oh yes, please.
Ah! That was very
That's
good.
10 out of 10. I would Wilhelm again.
Okay, back to what's actually going on here. Oshi knows how far behind he is, and one of the things that he said to us before the race was he was going to watch the stream so he would know when he could start memeing. He expected to lose by a lot, and I think that's you know why we're seeing the Wilhelm frog there, because he knows like Wilson's so far ahead of him right now. It's just like, okay, you know, let's have a little bit of fun. You lose like a second to do that, and it looks awesome.
I mean, it's kind of tough, you know. You're in a position where you are pretty much guaranteed to be out of the tournament, but it's nice that he has a good attitude about it. He's just going to go out here and have some fun with it. Gotta love that. Very respectable. Just good sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, like, I don't think, as you said, I don't think he's going to take a loss here too hard. Not that it's over just yet, but I mean, Willson has a huge lead right now, and there's not that much left that's going to get in his way of finishing. So, yeah, like Oshi has no illusions about this race. It was a surprise for him to win the first one, and this is kind of more maybe what we expected the first one to be like. But I do want to say, like, Oshi's still playing pretty darn well. It's just this is the PB difference at play, and Willson is putting on a great performance. Like, this is definitely one of his better tournament performances so far. So I'm glad to see him playing through the nerves and, you know, doing well. A couple bad deaths here and there, but like still his pace is just great. This is going to be a 30-minute time, you know, sub 31, I'm pretty sure, as he comes in to Horu now.
Yeah, I mean, outside that death, right after Bash, he hasn't really made any major mistakes. And the same can be said about Oshi. I mean, he's made a lot of really good saves that could have been bad mistakes, but he's just been playing very well for himself.
Oh dear me. Okay, well, that's why you place a safety save in Misty, because Oshi managed to get shot by the mini boss. When the quick kill doesn't go according to plan, anything can just do a bazillion damage to you there. So he gets munched. Wait, was that the frog? Did he dash back into the frog?
I think he might have.
Waiting in the wings, ready to take him out. It's like, no, the boss doesn't need to get him. I've got this.
That's awesome.
Wait, it was the spider? Oh my gosh, it was the spider shot.
No. No,
I'm
when
gonna
he
watch
goes in the
this
boss
race
room, was
back
it like
after and figure out
frozen?
what it was, because that was a crazy death. Wow. Okay. So meanwhile, Willson got through door warp. All of Mount Horu's done. He's just got to do the final escape now, and he'll be tearing this up right now. He has 5 health, which is the minimum required amount to get through this final swimming section. He has to bash off a couple fish, and you may see him pause to manipulate them. I'm not sure. It looks like he's going a little bit intentionally slow. Yeah, so just so that the fish are in a good position and he has an easy swim through. And now he has plenty of energy left. He's got to do, well, he doesn't have to do grenade jump. Actually, he can just not do the grenade jump. But looks like
He's gonna go for
faking
it.
me out, Willson. I couldn't tell if he was going for it, but there it is. First try. He's
Nice.
through. He's shaking his mouse around, giving us the infinity symbol, so I think he feels pretty good about that run overall. I mean, as a PB attempt, it's definitely like way off of Wilson's PB. But as a race, that's a really nice performance. I'm sure they'll feel good about that.
Yeah, it just speaks to being able to focus. I mean, knowing that you're not going to reset and you just have to power through any mistakes that you made. That takes a lot of mental fortitude. So, I mean, I can speak from experience, so can you. It can be really draining if you have a bad mistake and you kind of know you're losing time, especially compared to how well you know you can play. So just being able to keep trucking through, that's a really great time for Willson.
Yeah, nice stuff from him finishing up there. Now Oshi is pretty close to the end as well. He's already got grenade. He's doing a really nice series of rocket jumps out of Blackroot here. Going through the Indiana Jones section, he's going to go with the top route and the wall charge jump. Grabs this health cell, so now he's up to 6, which means his swim in the final escape is going to be nice and pleasant. The poison water will just be tickling him a little bit, you know, everything will be nice. He could, well, actually he couldn't get bit by the fish. He needs 7 health for that, but everything, oh gosh, that ramp was terrifying. But hey, we've got a lot of health. Might as well use it. It's a resource.
Good point. Good point.
Now Oshi, oh yeah, he's gonna go 7.
Ooh, now we can face tank the Bane.
Oh man, oh I know what he's doing. He's gonna do fish strats.
Yes.
He has enough help. Okay, he's gonna in the escape, he's gonna double bash a fish out of the water and rocket jump off of it to the end, which is an old strat that we did before we knew how to do grenade jumps, to skip part of that finals cutscene just to save a little bit of time. And now it's like really terrifying to do it. Theoretically you can still do it, but it's very likely you're gonna take more damage in the process, and it's really hard to avoid the crow trigger when you do it. So grenade jumping out of fish strats is almost impossible. But we'll have to see what Oshi goes for. I'm hoping it's just like, you know, fish strats to the end without a grenade jump, I would say is, you know, well worth it. And I hope that's what he's doing, because I'm gonna look pretty silly if it's not.
Now, can you still despawn Kuro doing that?
You can.
Okay.
The rocket jump just has to be at a very precise angle, and you can also still hit the Kuro trigger and grenade jump in time. But it's spooky. Like, you have to set it up really fast and then get it first try, or otherwise you just die.
But I know that once you're up at the top, you can actually still despawn Kuro by like kind of floating into where the trigger is, to where you would almost walk in if you weren't going to grenade jump. Can you still do that with this strategy?
You can. Of course, that's going to be way slower, but I mean, it's not about speed at this point. It's about how ridiculously cool this ending is going to be. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Oshi's coming up towards the water now. Oh, he didn't get the stomp in. He still has health. He still has health. Here we go. Oh no, he missed the second double dash. He's dead.
I think he's just going to keep going for it. I hope so.
This is worth at least another attempt. Going for this grenade jump. Oh yeah, that okay. Well, not perfect, but it definitely still looked pretty sweet. And more charge jumps through. I hope he gets the stomp into the water this time. That'll set him up better for getting through with this fish. So let's see. Yeah, he got the stomp in. Only 2 damage before the first fish. That's 3 damage. There's the double bash. 4 damage. 5 damage. Okay. Oh no, the fish!
Oh no!
The fish ate him after the water. Oh my god. Oh, he got hit by a rook. Okay, just, yeah. Retry. Well, this is definitely a treat right here. I think we're gonna get it this time. You know, nobody practices this anymore, which is why it's like such a pain to do, but oh, that's fire. Okay. Now the escape's just getting him.
I think he has to do it now. He needs to take revenge on that fish. That was just unfair.
You can't let the fish win.
Absolutely.
That's the most important thing. So here we go again. He's through the first part of the escape, full health. He's going to be heading towards the water now. Stomps in. 2 damage before the first fish. Here come the double bashes. Alright. You even have the UI on so you can see it. Okay, you missed the second double bash, but that's what the 7 health is for. And here we go.
Yes.
There's the rocket jump. And bashes again does not eat the rock. And he will be wrapping things up here with a time not really representative of how the run went. Because he just done normal strats. I'm sure he would have just first tried the escape and not needed 7 health, but, you know, what fun is that?
That is a fantastic way to walk away from the tournament. I really like it.
Wow. That's pretty good. So this also shows you why we do grenade jump, because this entire part where Sign flies over and says, "Oh no, the spirit tree, it's our only hope. We've got to go there, and that'll save the forest." And Ori's like, "Oh, I'm so tired, I can't dash anymore. I'm gonna walk over towards the spirit tree and bust out the feather." And then, oh, dear God, it's... Oh man, okay, I timed that wrong, but there's Kuro! And then Ori's dead. That's it. Killed by the bird. Come back next time for a different Ori.
Rest in peace, Ori. 2018, never forget.
Yep. So now Oshi walking into the finish with Naru here. And giving us some hops, of course. Trying to mess with the final time, but of course, Smashy on the ball. Doesn't fall for his tricks. And that's Oshi finishing with the 36-39.
Yo. GG.
So, looks like both runners will join us shortly to chat about their last race here that they just did. So let's see what's what. As we now are joined by both Willson and Oshi. So we'll start with you, Willson. GG, dude. How do you feel overall about that race? That was, you know, a pretty good tournament race time, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. nice to actually get good time for once, for a change. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I was hoping it would be because it's way off your PB, but like a sub 31 in a tournament race is just amazing. Like you played super well, took a couple deaths here and there, but everything was pretty nice aside from that. I liked your adaptation as well to make extra saves in Misty because you knew you were ahead at that point. So just playing it safe there. Not that you needed them, but that was a good decision, I think.
Yeah, I decided to do that, even if I was ahead by a lot or not ahead at all, because Misty's been I've been having trouble with Misty lately, so I decided to just make the safety save so that I can calm down and not feel stressed about if I die, I go back to climb.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing about it, the mental factor of, you're just relaxed because it's like, oh, this death's not a big deal anymore if I take it, so you just play a lot better.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'll throw the next one to Oshi. GG, dude. That was a fun race to watch. So let's cut right to the fun part immediately. That final escape. I'm assuming you had planned that one out in advance.
Yeah, I was like, there's probably a very slim chance I'm beating Willson again. So, but right before the race, I was just doing final escape practice. I got it a bunch of times in a row. It's like, oh, this will be free during the race. And then I was like, if I don't get it once, I'll probably just do it normally. And then I saw, once I got the 7th health in chat, people were like, Fish Strat's PogChamp. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess I have to do it now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you stuck with it. I'm glad you didn't let the fish win in the end, because that was well worth seeing, even if it killed you a couple times. So, with that, Oshi, you're out of the tournament now, but how do you feel overall about your tournament run? Like, did you expect to get this far through, or are you, happy with this, or, what were your thoughts on like how your matches went so far?
I was pretty prepared to lose in the round of 32 to Rory because he knocked me out in the rando tournament. So getting to lower finals was further than I expected, and beating Willson once was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was definitely a nice tournament run. It was fun seeing your races. You got to, cruise on, like take that huge upset, and then, Willson got you back here, but definitely a good overall performance for you. So, I guess I'll ask post-tournament plans for Ori. Is there any time you're going to grind down to, or other categories, or is it time for just massive amounts of stats?
Probably massive amounts of stats, and then I'll do maybe like 100% over the summer because I'm crazy. And I'm planning on doing some more Borderlands with Shed.
Nice, good stuff. Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing all that stuff. That's always fun. And definitely GG to you, a good tournament for performance. So we'll go back to you, Willson. You're not out of the tournament yet. You're going to be matched up against Stafu in the division finals. Now, what are your thoughts on that matchup? Do you think you're going to be able to take those two matches in a back-to-back fashion to take Stafu out and move on, or is he a bit spooky?
Yeah, Stafu's a bit spooky actually. Especially the fact that I have to beat him twice in a row is kind of scary. He's a bit of a question mark to me. His PB is about 31 minutes, I think, but Stafu is one of those runners that I think could have like a 29-30 or something if you just put in some more time. So I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it should be a pretty fun match to watch. I'll be waiting on the edge of my seat for when that one comes up. I'll just be jumping out to commentate or do something for that, because that match is going to be pretty good. I hope you manage to take it to 2 games, and, best of luck with that one. I hope, well, I mean, I'm not super biased. I'm not going to say I hope you win. I hope it's a good game.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
But yeah, GG Willson, nice performance in that race, and best of luck in your future tournament matches. So that will wrap up this race for us here, but man, there is some good Ori coming up soon, isn't there, Sully?
Sorry, cat aggro. 1 second.
Okay, the cat's after him, so I've got this one covered. In about 10 minutes from now, it's going to be Eviona versus Spark, which is the lower finals from my division. So I'm going to be I'm going to be commentating that one once again. So I'm going to be watching closely, seeing who makes it through that one, checking out my potential opposition, and this should be a pretty close race. Eviona has a much better PB than Spark, but they're both in that, low, sub 31-ish range, and anything can happen at that stage. Like any kind of little minor mistake can just cost you a ton of time, and the other person will just not let up. So, man, that match is going to be pretty sick. After that, we have Oshiimine versus Terra, which is like going to be even crazier potentially. So this is a great afternoon for Ori. Don't go anywhere because we have some great matches lined up for you. We're just going to take a short break, and then we will be back with Eviona versus Spark.